Thank you very much for tuning into Skyy Power FM. The time is 12 minutes past 11 today, the 16th of February 2002. He is vocal and talks straight. He is a fighter, very much political, with a record of a failed attempt to be elected as Member of Parliament. He is a registered member of the ruling MPP, but few criticize the party more than he does. He is fearless, but easy to chum up with. He is knowledgeable, having picked his lessons from the University of Hard Knocks. He is brusque and can use harsh words on politicians with incredible ease. He is magnanimous and sometimes runs to the rescue of the needy. He has affection for the Ghanaian media. In a large way, has become a darling to the media. He is rich by Ghanaian standards, but he says he is not among the elite. He loves to identify himself with the downtrodden and makes constant references to his humble beginnings and lowly roots. He has roof-piercing confidence, but some believe it is arrogance and haughtiness rather than self-assurance. It is not clear if he has enemies. Some people don't like to hear him speak, but others just relish hearing him articulate the things he knows and believes. That man is my guest again on Big Issues today. The man is Charles Kofi Wayo. Good morning to you, Kofi Wayo.
Machio. Ana Onipan or Takoradi num Mohoyana. So I'm learning my tree, you know.
So that's the Akan you've been learning,
yeah,
right?
I've been learning from Mr. Amankwa.
Kofi, it's great to have you here again.
Yeah.
But you know, you're
driving here is like a suicide mission, you know that.
Yeah. You always say that. But Kofi, now across the country, you're very, very popular. How do you feel knowing you're so popular, Kofi?
Well, I don't want to be popular or anything, but it's obvious that the people are beginning to realize that the condition they're in is artificial and it's time to change, that their poverty is artificial, that every suffering that is coming to them is brought not by God but by the politicians who have been lying to them all these years. So to find somebody who have made his own niche coming to stand up for them is like a fresh air to them. You see what I'm saying? So finally they see hope. So this is, you might call it popularity. I call it, from my American mind, I'll say it's an awakening. You know, they see that they got to get out of their situation, yes.
But Kofi, if you walked anywhere and mentioned your name, I am Kofi Wayo, and nobody knows you, it's not a good feeling. So being popular is something you enjoy.
What do you mean it's not a good feeling? I mean, it's better if nobody knows you because, you know, then you don't have to spend so much money and then you don't have to put up with a lot of people's problems. You know, everybody got a problem and, you know, when you're popular, everybody thinks you can solve their problems for them, which is not true, you know, so it depends. There are positive sides to everything and negative sides to everything, right? Sometimes you live and you wish you were dead, right? And sometimes you die and you wish you were alive, right? Okay.
So your level of popularity, is this something you enjoy or not?
I never thought about it. I look at it more like it's a responsibility. I don't call it popularity. I call it a moral responsibility. Okay? I'm on a crusade. I know that my people in Ghana don't have to suffer the way they suffer. That I know. Nobody can convince me otherwise. I know they're suffering because of the callousness of the politicians. I know that. I know that they can be able to feed themselves and clothe themselves except the elite, the so-called elite. They have brought their white masters to come and dominate the economy of our people. I know that. That's why my people are suffering. Okay? They just exploit the people. Take the cocoa business. The government buys the cocoa from the people, all right? Why can't the government allow the cocoa farmer to farm his cocoa, go borrow his money from the bank or borrow from the government, right? At, let's say, 8%, 10%, right? And let him produce his cocoa. Whoever he sells to, that's his business. And the government just taxes him 10%. of his sales.
Okay.
Why not?
We shall be looking more at that. But Kofi, being so popular, whether you agree or not, you are popular, and people are quite fascinated about who you are and what you are that they do not know. You tell me, Kofi, how do you spend your time? People want to know.
I read a lot. Because, see, I didn't go to university. Okay? So I started making money at very early age. You know, I remember when I told my friends in Detroit that I'm going to Chicago, I'm going to be a millionaire. Everybody laughed at me and said, oh, look at that chick. That doggone guy always dreaming bad. That some bitch, he's some bad. He is some bad. He going to die down there. Somebody going to put a bullet through his head. You know, but now they call me boss. See, if I go to Detroit, they'll say, hey, boss. Because I believed in something and I went and did it. Do you understand? So I come back to my friends. But here,
yes, so,
I read
so
and I go around and learn.
Right. So you tell me a typical day in your life in Ghana. What do you do? Do you work in Ghana? What is it you do?
Well, I work at night. I call my office in the United States to find out what's going on. And then if they need my opinion, you know, sometimes I'm on the phone from around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning till about 6, and then I go to sleep. I sleep till 8, and then I go to Nima. You know, that's my area, and help the people, you know, school fees and, you know, pregnancies, medical bills, you know, things like that. And I just listen to them, and because I have to commensurate with them. That's my spiritual background, you know. And then, like this weekend, you know, I'm leaving, but I'm going to my village first so I can go give them some food, some rice, some soaps for the people. It's not good to be doing this. It's better to teach a person how to fish. But they've been backed into a corner so bad, I have to bring relief to them until I'm able to get into power so that I can be able to help. I thought when we came in, Kufour would let me help, but it's obvious that they came with a different agenda.
Yeah, and that fits into the question I'd like to ask you next. You come across criticizing, pointing at, you know, the failures and the loopholes in the system. What has been your own personal contribution to the development of the country? I mean, in what ways have you shown it?
Well, I would say my biggest contribution was not growing up here. And get into government and chop free and take Pajeros and Land Cruisers home. That was my greatest contribution to the development. Now, I'm glad you asked me that. All the governments that have been in power here so far, they always contribute to the destruction of the country by looting the people blind. I'm glad I never got involved in that. I'm glad I grew up in the United States where I learned to stand on my own 2 feet. And, you know, I made my own money, my little money, my small chop. I made it on my own. So I'm proud of that. Now, my contribution is, one, when I came here, I found out everything was upside down. Okay? So I went home. I went back to the States, and I decided I'll come back and fight Rawlings. I set up, you know, I talked to a lot of my friends in the Army in the United States, and I deal with the intelligence unit of the United States a lot because when I was involved in dealing in arms, I talked to a lot of them, and I realized that, you know, I can put together a force to come, if necessary, to free the people. But when I came back 4 to 5 times to check the situation out. Then I brought some military experts quietly. We looked at the situation, and they told me the battle would take about 5 days, and casualties will be 17,000. Of course, I cannot live with 17,000 dead Ghanaians on my conscience. So, you know, I talked to a couple of senators, and I says, nah, I don't want to go military way. I want to go talk, but I need a backup. In case Rawlings arrests me, I want you to move in and swoop down and get him. You know, but I don't want him killed or anything. I want to talk to him. So I came back fighting, but he was smart. He didn't touch me, you know, and I'm very happy about that. So the battle went on. I joined the MPP, but to protect Kufour, because I knew he was, you know, in line to run for president. So I decided, well, since I don't know the language and the culture, I'm going to learn the language. It'll take me some time, so I'll support Kufour. But after we won, well, the suggestions that he agreed with me on, he's casted all of them aside so far.
Let's take one step back.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the first time you're revealing this in public. I mean, what plans you had for the country?
Well, I told him first.
Bring in the Secret Service quietly to come and look at the situation, see if you can probably free the country through military means and all of that. When you realized that couldn't be possible, you decided to come peacefully.
No, it was possible, but I don't want any casualties.
Okay, the casualties would have been too much. And
Yeah,
then ex-President Rawlings was in charge.
Yeah, he had a force called 64th.
Yeah.
And we figured 30% of them will fight.
Okay, now, and then in doing this, you decided to come quietly and peacefully, and you became a friend of Rawlings, didn't you?
No. I'm a friend of his cousin. You know? I'm Mike Susudis. That's my best friend. We go back almost 30 years in the United States. You know? So, I mean, friendship should not stop the truth. Okay? I grew up in the United States, and I grew up in a special military unit, and I know what allegiance is, and I know what humanity is.
Well, you were ever in the military
justice.
yourself?
Quasi. But I told Mike, I said, look, what's going on is wrong. I don't give a damn if he's your cousin. The people are suffering, and we got to stop it. Somewhere, somehow, we got to stop it. Okay? Now, I want to talk to Rawlings. So he tried to get us together. I didn't like some of the conditions, so I said, the hell with it. But I also talked to Ghanaians in the streets, those who matter. What I mean is the citizens. And I knew if you can organize the citizens, they can overcome the army. An army of some 16,000 ragtag men, is no big deal, But because of the mentality of the people, you have to be very careful because it could be a massacre. So I was very, very careful, And I found out that basically Mr. Rawlings doesn't give a damn about the people. He was a typical, African. He just want his power and enjoy and give orders and travel and be big on the, but in America, they call them buffoons. Okay, they call all African rulers buffoons because when you have a country, people can't eat 3 meals a day, they can't pay their school fees, and you come in a plane, a $20 million plane, to beg for $5 million. Does it make sense to you?
Okay, so that was a little bit in the past, and then you said you joined now President Kufour to fight the battle. What kind of help did you give?
Oh, I give him all kind of help, It's not necessary to talk about it. I set up the MPP office in Nima. I remember where I was told there's no way NPP would ever get any vote in Ayawaso among what they call, in Nima, my tribe there is Pepe Fo. So in Nima, we don't care what tribe you are. We all Pepe Fo, So I went in there, and I remember the harassment. Some soldiers came. I was always armed. I was always ready to fight. That is for sure. Because I know within 14 hours when I die, my men will swooping down here, and whoever killed me, he's going to be with me at the gates of hell or heaven. One of them, where I didn't give a damn, So all I know is when I see children with no shoes, when I see them hungry, I cry because that's the background I come from. And I said to myself, I've been gone over 40 years. Nothing has changed. When I see the children carrying buckets of water, I remember that. So why haven't something changed? In Accra, a city, the toilets haven't changed. Nothing have changed, just about, except some new shops. You understand? So I says, we got to do something about this. I am prepared to lay my life down. Okay? I talked to Kufour. He sound pretty good, but a foreign intelligence, American told me, look, Jack, these Africans, they're all the same. They'll talk good shit. When they get in there, they forget everything because most of them are poor, and they just want to make money for themselves. And I said, nah, well, Kufour's all right. He's a very nice guy. Have you ever met the guy? He's a real charmer, Very nice. I mean, he's the kind of guy you will find it very difficult to hate. Okay? But since I see that he have a different agenda, he believes in the IMF, the World Bank, And, to me, these are the same people who have been praising Rawlings all the time. They're the same people who praise Achampong or help them. I said, let's stay away from these guys. I got ways of getting money, a lot of money. Okay, I have no problem with that. But, I'm zero tolerance. And a lot of his ministers...
Zero tolerance in what?
Extremely, because I want everything to go to the people. Let's borrow the money, build factories, and employ the people. They don't agree with me. I said, energy part, let me take it. I was able to arrange, even, I think I have a letter here that was written to Kufour by the governor of Illinois, and I was able to talk into United States Army of Engineers and a whole lot of other people. I put a gang together so we could come within months to set up the energy system. And I found out they were not interested because the World Bank, they want to make money out of it, and they're dictating to us. So Kufour told me that, look, I want you to stay away from the energy. I have my own, what did he say?
You mean
my own gurus.
Hold on. Are you saying that the president specifically told you to stay away?
Yeah.
When was this?
Oh, a few days after we came to power. So I said, okay, I'll sit back and watch what they do. And I knew they were going to fail. So now you see, you're getting, I don't have the letter here. I'll mail you a copy. Okay?
Yeah.
I'll mail you a copy.
Okay, I'll remind you of that.
I thought I had it.
So is that a list of the things you've done to help Ghana?
Well, so far all I'm doing is I help the children go to school. I pay their fees. When I came, Taifa, they didn't have water, so I loaned them $20 million at that time, a few years back, to build a water system there. I helped build a couple of schools, help a clinic in my village, Kofi Wayo, a few things like that to help. That's all. But what I want to do, is to affect the life of the whole Ghanaian spectrum.
Okay, I'll be asking you how you are going to affect the life of Ghanaians in the whole spectrum. But Kofi, you're rich, aren't you? And you got enough.
Come on, not that.
Hold
no,
on, by
rich.
Ghanaian
I am
standards.
I'm comfortable.
Okay,
I'm not rich. I am comfortable.
Okay, you got enough money.
In America, you don't talk like that.
Yeah,
you don't talk like that.
Okay, you got enough money, Kofi.
On you and take everything you got.
Why don't you, Kofi, go into start some projects in Ghana that can directly employ, for example, farming, right? Why don't you start a right?
A lot of people have farming and it fails because the system is not there. You are asking me to go and play soccer on water. Can you play soccer on water? Okay. If I sink all my money into these things and it fails, where would I go get more money?
Kofi, why would it fail?
Because the system fails.
What would you need to?
I just helped a guy with $300,000 to set up a factory. He said I shouldn't mention his name.
At where?
In Kasua.
Okay.
Okay? He have no money to operate it. The banks will loan him money. The equipment is there. In America, when you build a factory, that's equity right there. You got equity. Banks will come and beg you to give you money to operate. Here, they don't do that. Do you understand? They said the man is NDC man. Okay? Now, why should party affiliation have something to do with your business? So I told him, I said, look, I don't believe it. I said, MPP, we don't do that. We won't victimize anybody like that. But he took me to a meeting and he let me hide somewhere. And I heard it. But what can I do about it? I am not the president. I don't have the power. The banks are like Susu system. You can't borrow money at 30% and manufacture something here and make money unless you cheat the people. Why should I go build a factory, right, and charge my people cutthroat prices so I can make up? There's no electricity for you to work here, right? There's nothing.
There's electricity, Kofi. What are you
but
saying?
Look at the
because
price.
When you come to Takoradi, you get electricity, won't you?
Yeah, but how? Why should I pay look? Let's say I want to manufacture bottles. A guy is doing the same thing in Taiwan and shipping them here, right? He's getting electricity 24 hours a day at around 3-4 cents a kilowatt hour, right? And it's constant, right? So he can cut down his cost by almost 90%. If I build that here, I have to buy a generator. How do you compete? All the factories I know here, they're not competing, they're just surviving. I don't need that kind of aggravation. Look at my office. People kept saying, set up an office. Now we got an office 8 months ago. In 8 months, 4 fax machines have blown up. Okay? In 8 months, 2 of, color copiers that we brought from America, they blown up. We bought one here, it's blown up a few days ago. The telephones don't work. I'm unable to send faxes. You know, for a whole 2 weeks, the phone system didn't work. Do you understand what I'm saying? These are the aggravations. So why should I get involved in it when I can help to clean up the situation so that we can work? A doctor, when I went to the phone company, a doctor came there, 2 of his patients died because, you know, the machines didn't work. Okay, and you people keep saying, go build something. Why should I? Look at my house. You know, I put up a few houses. Electricity is erratic. No water. You got to build a tank in your own house to fill it with electricity. With water. The whole system is wrong, and we got to change it. Until we change it, do you understand? And build the systems to support the businessman. The businessman is the lifeline of any country. Okay? And here, nobody gives them anything because Rawlings waged war against them.
Now, I want us to be more specific, Kofi. Now, what will prevent you from engaging in a successful rice farming project in Ghana?
You remember the Aveyime rice, where Pipra and his gang, they've been taken to fast-track court? Why didn't it succeed? It can't. The system is not... Look, I'm just trying to buy just 5,000 acres of land. Do you understand? And another one, a friend of mine, well, I don't want to bring it up. Sometimes I don't like people to know what I'm doing. We're trying to buy land for some project. Man, there's 2 chiefs' clans, you know, they call them clans, clashing. You know, we've spent over 200 million cedis. Why should I be doing this? You know, the chief on the other side doesn't agree. This other chief agrees because he gets money from us. It doesn't make sense. We need to have a system to work. Okay? If I set up, look.
So that's a reference to the land tenure system?
Yeah. We see, the government doesn't work. And the people who are in the government, you know, Ashantis have a saying, "Se kwatirikwa obemao ntamaa tieniding." Huh? You have kwatikras who, because they went to school in England or somewhere, they come here to run the government. They were all poor. They didn't make money there. No, because the brain to make money there, you need to be tough. You understand? They did not. So they come here to pick on you poor folks who live here. That's exactly what's happening. You go to, even my own party, go to the minister. He doesn't have time for you. He have time for Brony because he's going to make some money. They will invite him next. You go to the ministries, you find out at a given time, 60-70% of the ministers are overseas. Why? You were elected by the people of Ghana. All our problems are here. It's not in Europe. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you can't solve the problem here from Europe. But you see, they increased their per diem to 250. So if you stay for 10 days, you get 2,500. That's more than your salary. So it's not a governmental job. They came to make money. Look, if I build something here, Ghanaians, listen to me. Electricity, right? You, the consumer, if I'm a consumer, first you get unnecessary high bills. Number one, you know, I put it here for you so you will know why things don't work here. Number two, the outages and damage to your equipment. Okay? Number three, risk to life and property when there's no electricity. Number four, you have general inconvenience. You know, even the workers, after you work hard all day, you want to go home, listen to your little music. Asu, asu, emina piao, emina piao. You can't even do that because there's no light. Do you understand? Meanwhile, you know, even now, the oil prices are cheap. If I was in energy, I would have stored enough or oil, so that when the price go, we can even sell, because I have the connections to borrow the money to buy and make profit. Okay, but they won't let you do that. Okay, so that creates poor production schedules, higher than planned cost of production using generators. The whole system doesn't work. Period. Ghanaians, it doesn't work.
37 minutes past 11. I am talking to Charles Kofi Wayo, the number one critic of the NPP government, a government he belongs to.
I am not the number one. A lot of people, they criticize, but they're afraid. See, they need contracts from the government.
Who is the number one?
I know them. They're quiet, though. I am not criticizing MPP out of MPP. MPP is my party. It's not MPP running the country. is President Kufour and his cabinet. He chose them, okay? MPP didn't choose his cabinet. So you people got to learn to separate government from the party. Oh, you understand what I'm saying? Okay.
Okay, now, Kofi Wayo, not long ago, right, the president gave the State of the Nation address, also called a sessional address. What did you think about it?
Well, see, this speeches, when you look at them, go back to even in Nkrumah's time, it's the same. It's just talk. Nothing comes out of it. So I didn't, I didn't pay much attention, to be frank with you, because I'm interested in substance. That we inherited a disaster. We came from what you call a military, kleptocratic dictatorship, okay? It was a disaster we inherited. And my common sense tells me, because, in America, where I grew up, we use common sense. Common sense is the same everywhere. But the worst thing I found out in Africa is we have everything, gold, diamond, bauxite, manganese. But the one thing we seem to lack is common sense. Common sense, okay? For example, when President Kufour came to power, the immediate thing they did was raise the price of electricity and water, right? ECG. Now, people of Ghana, I fought against it quietly. I told them, don't do it. Now, let me show you why they should not have raised the prices. The private consumers, they owe ECG 193 billion cedis. 193 billion, 576 million, and 500,000. That's the last statistic I had. Ghana, GBC, Ghana Broadcasting alone, owe 1.4 billion, okay, over that. Ghana Water Company Limited, they owe 51.4 billion. People, listen to this. Tropical Glass by Gilchrist Olympio, a foreigner, Togolese, a friend of Rawlings. He allowed him to use 1.4 billion cedis worth of electricity without paying in his Aboso glass, tropical glass. Aboso, right? Okay. Government parastatals, to the people who don't speak English, parastatal means government agencies. They owe ECG electricity 34 billion cedis. ECG itself owes Volta River Authority 450 billion. My people, all this money, where is it? Why should they come and raise the price of water when Ghana Water and Sewerage about, when was it? Wednesday, if you look at the statements of Wednesday, just two people, Asamoah and somebody, in Ghana Water and Company Limited, in just two weeks, they stole 1.4 billion cedis. If you say you have no money, where does all that money come from? Why does the poor consumer, the poor businessman who's trying to run a small factory to produce toilet paper, I have a friend who just went bankrupt. He had to close his factory. Because his small factory, he have to pay 200 million cedis a month for electricity. It doesn't make sense. So I asked Mr. Ken Dapa, they won't even talk to me.
Okay, that's in energy, right? We'll come there in a moment.
Okay,
but
the State of the Union address.
State of the
I told you.
nation, yeah.
Okay, he talked, right? I like to see action. He have the power. Okay, I don't have power, so I can talk. But he have power, so he can talk. When you talk in America, well, we say you do the talk, do the walk. Okay, do the talking and do the walking. He can order this to be done and people will move. Okay, I am always ready. The energy part, all it takes, change some. It's easy to put it back together and let it work for the people. So I don't make much of it.
The president, right? What directive, what action should he be taking as far as the private sector is concerned?
One, okay, we have to shift away from the World Bank. We don't have to listen to them. We have to negotiate with them. A task force must be set up right away. Negotiate with the World Bank and tell them, look here, goddammit, you're suffocating me. Okay? I owe you $6 billion. That's understood. Okay? You got me into this mess in the first place. You were President Rawlings' administration. So this is what I'm going to do. I am going to pay you based on the fact that if my economy grows, whatever percentage my economy grows, I'll pay you that kind of percentage. Okay? Number two, I like to reschedule the whole debt. Take it or leave it. Do you understand? Achempo said yen toi, right? Yen toi. But with the yen toi, Achempo went on to build a lot of things. The World Bank didn't give Achempo money, right? But Achempo built without money from IMF or World Bank. When he said yen toi, he built he acquired land. He built the Bulga estates. Bulga used to be a hooch, you know that. But he built the Bulga estates. You know, there was a village there in Bulga, right? Teshinungwa estates, who built them? Achempo. Dansoman estate, who built them? North Canacea estate, who built them? Where did he get the money from? We have the money. You just got to know what you're doing. Period. Tell the IMF, lay off me, man. Okay, but you gotta be a strong man. You gotta have a political will to be able to get the support of the people. You tell them, look, friends, 20 years, we had an ignorant man who was running the country. Okay? The man, that's what I like about Rawlings. He always said, look, I don't know anything. I don't know law. I don't know economics. He just came, he said he knows only when he's hungry. Do you understand? So you see his stomach now, he's done very well for himself. You know, he said he was a revolutionary, but he left with, 22 cars, right? He's driving around in a Jaguar. He's driving around in a Mercedes. Boy, it's nice to be a revolutionary, huh? Just look, all that was brought to him just with a gun, AK-47. You understand? Atta Mills, he walked away with 10 cars, but he had a conscience. He brought 6 back, right, and kept 4. So everybody came to rob the people. Simple as that. Ghanaians, do you see now?
So you're saying that Ghanaians, led by President Kufour, should tell the IMF to go to hell.
Right.
Now, wouldn't that be shooting yourself in your foot?
No,
because
no, they'll set up. The IMF themselves, you see, they are not bad, okay? The problem is they're dealing with people who don't know anything. Do you understand?
Which people
Our budget is made in Washington. You know, we have to go to Washington to go and approve our budget. Are you aware of that? That shows we're not an independent people. Our sovereignty has been sold out. They dictate to us because there's nobody in the government who understands how to access private capital. And because of the bad name Africa, you see, in America, people don't know Ghana. All they know is Africa, starving people, civil wars, savages, presidents for life. You know, this is the image the world have of us. And to a large extent, it's true. You know, look at failed states in Africa. Somalia, it's a war there. Liberia is a war there. Sierra Leone, a war there. Uganda, war there. Sudan, war there. You know, it's all over the place. Algeria, war there. Morocco, Polisario, war there. We are the only people suffering all this. So I want Ghana, for so far, God has protected us. And I'm very thankful to God. We're so almost homogeneous in Ghana. We have so much that with the right leader, my friend, our progress will be like the staccato of a machine gun. Because we have it all. We have gold. We have diamond. We should get all the mining companies to halt the mining right away. We got to renegotiate those contracts. We got to go back 15 years and tax them. We got to, the gold got to benefit the people of Ghana, not outsiders.
When you do that, won't you be isolating yourself? Won't you make yourself
you
a
won't.
target
Listen,
of
the world
sanctions,
knows.
perhaps?
No. There is a way to, my friend, it's not what you do. It's how you do it. I can't tell you how we're going to do it because when you're going to fight a war, you don't tell the enemy what kind of weapons you got. You will lose, right? But there's a way to, look, America does it every day. England does it every day. Do you know in England right now, there's a law since September 11. Any foreigner can be locked up for the rest of his life without questions. Are you aware of that? Is that democratic? Okay, but there's a way. So they're doing it because, see, if you kill somebody, you'll be arrested for murder. Are you aware of that? But there's a way to kill somebody and you have something called justified homicide. So it's not what you do, it's how you do it. Okay? All the forces in history who went to Afghanistan, they lost, right? The British lost there. The Russians lost there. But America went and they won because of the way they went about it. It's how you do it. My people, it's how you do it. Okay? Me, black man in America, to make money is very difficult, right? But I went about it. The odds against me were 240 million to 1 for a black man to make $1 million in America. because the whites would oppose you. They'll do everything to destroy you if they can. But there's a way to do it. We went and we did some of it, right? If I was white in America, I probably would be worth about maybe $1 billion now. But I'm black, so there's a ceiling. Do you understand? Yeah. But me, I'm not greedy. I don't want to make a lot of money. As long as my mother is living, she's happy. I can eat 3 meals a day. I'm thankful to God that He brings me back alive, and I go back there. My children live good. That's all. Okay? I'm not greedy at all. So the talent that I have, I'm bringing it to the disposal of my people to liberate them from illiteracy, ignorance, and want. They're ill-fed, ill-led.
48 minutes.
And I like to remind Ghanaians.
Yes, that.
See, Atta Mills might come back and ask you to vote for him.
No, we'll get there later, I'm sorry.
Okay.
But let's look briefly at the transport sector with special emphasis on Ghana Airways. The finance minister says it's still losing money. What do you have to say about that?
Because the management is bad. They don't know what they're doing. If I am in Ghana Airways, I'll turn it around in 6 months. I've studied it. Look here, even the ground operations here, British Airways, Lufthansa, KLM, all the airlines that come, Alitalia, who services them? They service themselves. Why can't we organize well here and service them and make the money? That'll create even more employment. Why can't we? I don't want to go on and on.
What should be done with Ghana Airways now, given that the government accepts that it's losing money, and the government itself lent it some money and it's not able to pay it back? The finance minister again says that its total assets will not pay for its debt.
I know that because they chopped the money. I have a whole stuff about Ghana Airways. I don't have it here with me, but when I read it, I was totally shocked. But, you see, I keep telling you, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. They're not business-like. They don't understand business, okay? This is the tragedy we have. We have some smart Ghanaians. Because of how dirty the politics is here, they're afraid to come out. Do you know that? We have some great Ghanaian. I've met some, and that's why I'm so confident that with the right leader, we're going to make it. Ghanaians, don't get discouraged. All we got to do is free the system. Free it, and you would see what is going to happen to you. There are great Ghanaians, even more greater than me. I know that. And they're there. But when the right leadership comes, you will see that everything will work. Everything will work. And I have that confidence. Yeah.
Well, if you just join us, it's Big Issues, talking to Kofi Wayo, his views on varying topics, political, economic, and all of that. Now, Kofi Wayo,
yes.
The NPP,
yes.
Do you still have faith in it?
Oh, yeah. Listen, there are great people in the NPP, okay? You have to understand, NPP is not a party that is tied to one individual. There's no dictatorship in NPP, okay? You see, NPP survived how many years? Almost 30 years in opposition?
Yeah,
because
40 years.
It's a free-spirited party. And that is a proof to you people that free spirits is the only thing that works. See, NDC was a creation of one man and his wife. Now that they're out of power, it's disintegrating, right? They're disintegrating, right? Nkrumah did the same, one-man power. But the NPP, our forefathers, Pa Grant, right? Dankwa, Mr. J.B. Dankwa, all these guys, they were independent, okay? So they are able to metamorphose into whatever the situation calls for. See? So I am proud of that history. And I know they were all resistors. They feared nothing. They were prepared to die for something. And
so you still have faith in the NPP,
yeah,
right?
The people are there.
Yeah.
Like everything else. The leader have to come and everything turns loose.
So if fresh elections were called today, would you still vote for the NPP?
Of course. And I'll ask everybody that your hope is in the NPP. Because, listen, NPP will not send soldiers to come and beat you and kill you. Do you understand? We will not, Nana Konadu, when a young boy, a young Ghanaian Selassie, was arrested, brutalized because of their daughter. He had a problem with their daughter. Taken to the castle dungeon where the white men used to torture our ancestors, and they went and tortured this boy. And this Nana Jiman Rawlings came out to say, when they shaved his head with a bottle, she said, oh, it's an identification haircut. How would she feel if somebody does that to her son? Okay? We will never do something like that. So Nana Konadu, don't worry about it. We're democratic. We will never do that.
You still
we
have
believe in the
faith
rule of law.
in the NPP. Now,
Oh, yes.
among the political parties that are in opposition, right,
Yeah.
which of them, if any, do you think is an alternative to the NPP?
Oh, I would look at PNC. They got a very a guy who cares. Okay, who cares. But we got more people in MPP who cares more than we do in anything. See, I have looked at everything. I like to be realistic. Okay. In MPP, we got great young people. They don't talk because they're afraid. You know, they don't have any money. They never made anything of themselves, so they got a little chance to, you know. So, but when the right leader comes, ready to shake the Ghanaian to bring the greatness out of them, okay? Look at Nkrumah. He just shook us a little bit, maybe 0.1%. Look what Ghanaians achieved, right? And he was there only 9 years, right? In 8 years, he built a University of Technology in Kumasi, right? He built a whole township, Tema. He built the highway from Accra to Tema. I don't know why he didn't carry it to Aflau. He should have. He built a Ghana Rubber Company, right? Or something like that. In just 9 years, he built a Kosombo Dam. But Rawlings, 20 years. 20 years. What can you really look at? And he did some, 20 years, he did some good too. And I'm proud of Rawlings, the kind of background he came from when he handed it over. I think, I know it was willy-nilly. He didn't want to, but he did. The fact that he did not start a civil war, you have to congratulate him for that. That exonerated a lot of things right away. You know, even though I was prepared to meet him fire for fire, I was. If he had resisted, I would have swung in. No question in my mind about that. But I'm proud he did it, and no Ghanaian died, and I'm proud of that. And I'm always thankful, Rawlings, for that. Okay, but I don't like. I think he should be remorseful for some of the things he did. You know.
The National Democratic Congress, NDC, is the major opposition party, right?
You mean National Deceivers Council?
Okay, that's your word.
I got some good friends there now, you know.
Okay. Who's your best friend in the NDC?
Oh, man.
Or who are your best friends there?
I got a lot of, I respect people like
Kwame
Ajaho. No, I don't like Kwame Pepra. He's a joker. He's a joke. He's a big joke. He's a fake.
So Ajaho.
I like Doa Ajaho.
Do you like Bagbin?
Bagbin, he's all right. He's a little, I would say, sedity for me, a cad. You know what a cad is? I can't figure him out. I don't know if he's sincere or not. But, people on the ground, I got a lot of NDC friends, and I just hope that they clean up their party and put in people that don't kill anybody.
So what I was going to ask, the NDC, right?
Yes.
Do you see them as living up to their task of opposing the government, pointing out the loopholes and keeping the NPP government on its toes?
They don't have the moral ground to stand. They had 19 years. They could have done something. All they can show you is they build this road, that road. The people don't eat roads. Roads don't pay your school fees, It's nice to have roads. Again, it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
But road facilitates what you do.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying to you, okay, the roads were bad, right? The money, you don't borrow money from the World Bank to build roads. You borrow money to build a business, a factory, right? Suffer and take the products to sell. And then you can build roads.
No, Kofi, what you do first, according to some other ideologies, is that you build an infrastructure first. You build roads.
In America, they build factories first before they started building roads. Did you know that?
What's the advantage?
The advantage is this. You have something to sell in order to live. Let me ask you something. When you go to a restaurant, do you order dessert first? You're hungry, so you satisfy your hunger. And then, if there's room in your stomach, you ask for dessert, right? Okay, but do you build a house from the top, or you got to have a foundation? You understand? Roads are necessary. Yes, you got to have roads. But if you borrow money to build a road, right, and you don't have factories to produce, to sell, to make money, right, when the time comes to pay that money for the road, where is the money coming from? Can you tell me? When the World Bank gives you, recently the Minister of Finance came and said, the World Bank has given us 240 million, interest-free for 40 years. Do you believe a white man is going to give you something for free? You're a fool if you believe that. Number two, how are you going to pay that money back? You said it's interest-free. 40 years from now, they'll be dead and gone. You know that. Their children will be here to pay that money. They can't pay, so they'll still be slaves. So let's concentrate on building industry more than anything else right now. Two things we should concentrate on, okay? The education of our children and production, and then the health of the people. Those are the three major things that we got to take up right away. We should right now go ahead and make schools free for children from 6 to 18. Make it by force. Set up a task force.
And free.
And free. Every morning you got truant officers to visit homes, communities, find out is Little Kwesi in school, is Little Abena in school, get them all into the schools. Because education is the equalizer. Do you understand? When the people are educated right, you can't cheat them like you do now. See, because now they're not educated. So politicians go in the village and lie to them. And then if something happens, they'll say, Yembe fama nyami, right? Yembe fama nyami. Well, onyami onfa, if he say, onyami wa mau adweng, or pese un na unye bribi, wow. Say one dweng and a unye bribia. Onyame obe punish you, so uwa. Obe bisa o say, ada na mi mau adwene na un use wa adwene. Wa huana. If he say yen use yen adwene, they should know there is no such thing as a big man. But here, you see a guy stole some money while he was a government official, buys a Mercedes, then he go to protect himself, he goes to become a chief. Osaji fo, Kantamanto, Osadibiri, or Dasibiri, or something. They cover themselves up with this chieftaincy stuff. Do you understand? And he's a big man. We got to destroy all this kind of systems and make our people responsible to themselves and accountable to God. Okay? I'll tell you a story an army general told me. He said when God created the world, he created black man, yellow man, and white man, right? And then after he waited for them to dry up and everything and then he breathed into them life. And they all start to talk, right? And he said after so many years, he said, okay, my boys are okay now. He said, man, I am your Lord, thy God. And he pointed to see that planet there? It's called Earth. I'm going to send you there. And what you're going to need to live there with is your brains. You're going to use your brains to live. So now I'm going to test your brain for the last time before I send you there. So God, boom, he created a tree. The tree was 300 feet tall, right? Then he put one fruit on that tree. And he said, okay, boys, I want to see how you're going to bring that fruit down. Now, that's a tall tree, 300 feet, okay? Then he said, okay, 1, 2, 3, go, boys. Boy, the yellow people, they're trying to climb the tree, you know. They climb on top of each other, trying to get to their fruit. You know, the white people, they went and found a rope, trying to lasso, you know, throwing the lasso, trying to bring the fruit down, right? The Arabs, they went and got a rock, sharpened it to try to cut the tree down, but the tree was too big. So they told God, we don't know. You know what the black man did? He looked at where the fruit is and where it might possibly fall. And he lay down there and opened his mouth, waiting. Just in case the fruit fall down, it'll fall right in his mouth. See, this is the way we've been going. And we got to shake ourselves out of that. We got to go and climb that tree or cut it down or try to find somewhere, rock, throw it, do anything. Move, move, move. That's all I want my people to. And I know Africans can do it. Do you know there was an African called Toussaint Louverture? He was the first person to defeat Napoleon's army. Napoleon's army went all over Europe, defeated almost everybody until he came to Russia. Toussaint Louverture, a slave from Africa. Maybe he's from Cape Coast, Takoradi area.
Kofi Pari.
Oh, no, the slaves didn't come from there. The white people came to the sea, you know. They came with boats. So the slaves came from this environs, okay? But he was able to defeat Napoleon. Ya Santua. She stood up to the British, right? Osei Tutu, right? We got a history, and we can do it. We don't need O'Brien to come and tell us what to do.
Okay, can do it, says Kofi Wayo. Kofi,
we can do it.
Professor Mills, the former vice president, was given 10 cars by the transitional team. He was reported to have rejected 6 and kept 4. And then the security agencies are reported to have gone into his home where the wife was there and then demanded the vehicles, demanded of her to change the security number plates. What do you have to say about that?
Well, my opinion about this is varied. First of all, Ghanaians, it's time you must know that there's nobody above the law. Whether you're president or vice president or a cocoa farmer or a banchi farmer, you're not above the law. You've got to understand that. That's number one. Number two, I don't know why they gave him 10 cars. You see, first I was going to blast my party for what they did, but then I found out you can't blast them. In fact, a foreign embassy called me and told me, listen, your party people are wrong. They gave away all these cars because they were in a hurry to get into power. They don't care what the consequences were. Okay? But I was given, it's Article 71 of the Constitution. Said a president have to set up a committee, to decide on what goes to anybody who retires, right? And when the president and his committee have decided what is to be given, they have to get the approval of Parliament. You see? So President Kufour violated those rules right away, okay? And I'm sorry for that. The Green Street report, okay, which was headed by Mr. Greenstreet, Mr. Miranda Greenstreet, who was chairperson, and Mr. EPL Jampo, member, CA Ajay, member, Idris Igala, member, Reverend Dr. N.T. Clark, Paul Ifa, who was the secretary. They came up with the recommendation that one car appropriate for a retired vice president, entertainment, 30% of basic salary, for his retirement, okay? And if you look at page 34 of that report, you'll see that. So Atta Mills, who I know would come back to ask you to be president, when they gave you 10 cars, you don't need but one car. 99% of Ghanaians can't even afford to smell a car. Why keep 4? He should have taken all of it back. Since he can afford, well, keep one. Okay, keep one. But when you serve the country, the economy didn't grow, the people didn't get richer or nothing. So you don't deserve anything. You don't reap where you didn't sow. It's only in Africa that you reap where you didn't sow. Okay? In America, Clinton, when he left, he's entitled to all his stuff because the economy grew. We made a lot of millionaires. He created 20 million jobs. Do you understand? So you cannot argue with whatever he gets. But you came and ruled over the people. They can't pay their school fees. You took their money. You had seminars on how mosquitoes have sex, seminars on how frogs jump, seminars. You travel all over the world. You bought cars for yourselves. You built palaces. And then the poor Ghanaian, they can't pay their school fees. Adjoa would die in the hospital because they can't pay. And you take 4 cars. So I can't support. So Ghanaians, when he come to you next time to ask you to vote for him, Bisanu say, I don't know fa ka mienang, I don't know fa na yen ni diadi.
But Kofi, he did well by returning 6, didn't he?
Okay, so let me ask you something. I came to your house, right, and stole 10 million CDs, and I returned 6 million. Am I justified? I kept 4 million. So is that okay? That's okay? Huh? In the Ghanaian culture, is that okay? Where I grew up in America, that's not okay. You still go to jail.
But why wouldn't you pick bones with the team that gave the vehicles out? I mean, 10.
Yeah, I am
vehicles.
picking bone. I am disappointed in the transitional team, but that goes to show you the ineptitude of that team. They were incompetent. Period. Okay. And Ghanaians, you've seen it for yourself. Okay? It's Dibi Namin Dibi. Maybe they were in a hurry. Oh, give Rawlings everything he wants so he gets out. Then we too, we can chop. So they were in a hurry so they can get their cars, their Pajeros, their Land Cruisers, because everybody comes to chop. Until we stop that. Say kwatri kwase or bemao and tamaa. What do you say? Tieniding or jeniding? Right? So you have a bunch of kwatri kwas. They want cars. They want everything. See? In England and America or in Germany, when you go to parliament, you drive your own car. I was just in Switzerland. I have a friend, a legislator. The government gives him a ticket to get on the train. Do you understand? If he wants to drive, that's his problem. But because 85 to 90% of the taxpayers' money goes to build infrastructure and educate the people so that they can produce. Switzerland is a small country. You understand what I'm saying? They have no gold, no diamond, but they have more gold in their safes than we have. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you come to Ghana, you don't even know there's gold in Ghana. We have no buildings with a gold dome. Go to Switzerland, go to Germany, go to France, go to England, United States. They have great buildings, dome. Look at Ashanti Gold Fields, making all the gold here. Look at their office. A small place near Kaukuri, messed up, useless. I go to see Sam Jonah there. I was ashamed. I said, Sam, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Huh? Taking hundreds of millions out of our country. You should put up a building and put a gold dome and put a gold dust in it to show that this country produces gold. So you see, we don't do nothing. Because we have ignorant people. They steal the money from here and take it to the white man again. Look at Victor Salome. He was stealing the money here and sending it to America. Huh? And then you go back there to borrow the money back here again. Ghanaians. Yeah, why drink? Huh?
10 minutes after midday, Kofi, the energy sector now. First of all, your comment about the looming energy crisis in the country.
Well, I told him one day, okay, if I was there, it wouldn't happen. I would have brought, standby power right away. I was going to do that within the 2 weeks that we got into power. I was poised to do that. I was poised to do that. Now they said they bring in a barge. Ghanaians, it doesn't make sense. Let me tell you what it takes to build a barge. Ghana doesn't need a barge. We have land. I put it here. You have to, complete producing gas wells, right? You have to have a platform for the drilling and completing the, producing gas wells. You have to design engineering and construction of gas gathering pipeline system, design area for the power plant, dredge the area because it's, water and stuff for the power base, then, you gotta have breakwater areas and things like that. Then you do your soil test to find the base, right? Then you design and build breakwater to protect the barge from, ocean activities, you gotta drive piles and set moorings for barge tie down, you see? Build dock for receiving the supplies and future equipment, design and build power lines to take, it's so much. Why go through all that? The Abuaji plant, it was ill-designed. It was antiquated before they built it. It will never work and produce what it's supposed to produce. The same amount of money, I could have built 1,200 megawatt plant. The Abrofo cheated them. They don't know because they just want to make their small money, and Abrofo cheat them all the time. This is why we're having the problems. But they won't listen to me. I go to Kendapa, you can't teach a blind man. Can you tell a blind man how beautiful the color red is? You can't. That's why, I don't talk to them because, see, I'm not looking for anything, and I don't want a minister to bluff me. Why should I go to minister's office and wait? I don't want to do it. I don't want to get involved. I thought, they would come and say, okay, Kofi, even when they were setting up the committee to investigate Chachu Chikata, I spent my own money, 300,000. I got enough evidence to hang Chachu Chikata 10 times. Kumsin of Chronicle spent his money to investigate Chachu. He's got also a lot of documents. Nobody went to me or to Kumsin to ask for anything about Chachu.
And you didn't take it to them?
Why should I? It's my property. I won't.
But did you let them know you have something like that?
They know I have. Hey, everybody in Ghana knows that I've been fighting Chachu when everybody was afraid to talk about Chachu. In fact, I thought by fighting Chachu, Rawlings would make a move, and then the fight would have come, and would because I was prepared for that. I lost a lot of millions of dollars coming here with my team. Chachu made me lose it, but now I don't hate him. I feel sorry for him. But my problem with him is he didn't know what he was doing, and he should have not done it. Okay? But now that he's facing fast-track court, now I find out Sam Jonah did the same thing Chachu did, and he's with the MPP. So if they're going to prosecute Chachu, then they should prosecute Sam Jonah too. If not, let Chachu go. Let's find some way to get the money back from him and let him go. Do you understand what I'm saying? From what I know, we got to be fair. Okay, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Okay? I'm not going to take the side of MPP because I'm MPP. I take the side of MPP because we're right, not when we're wrong.